In the heart of Manhattan, where skyscrapers gleam and secrets fester, a brutal murder has shattered the world of New York's elite. A powerful tycoon, a former supermodel, and a dark conspiracy. What lies beneath the glittering facade of a perfect family? Welcome to Family Crime Files, where we uncover the chilling truths hidden in plain sight. Buckle up for a twisted tale of betrayal and blood. Before we jump in, tell us where you're tuning in from in the comments below. And if this story grabs you, make sure you're subscribed to Family Crime Files. We've got something extra special coming tomorrow. If you're already hooked, hit that like button to let us know. In the dazzling glow of Manhattan, a gruesome murder has rocked the city's upper crust. Michael Langston, a powerful Wall Street tycoon, was found dead in his opulent penthouse at the Pinnacle, a luxurious tower overlooking the Hudson River. A single, precise stab to the heart ended his life. No signs of forced entry, no murder weapon, just a shattered glass of bourbon and a secret too dark to stay buried. Vanessa Langston, Michael's wife and a former supermodel whose face once graced the covers of Vogue, hides something behind her flawless exterior. Is it jealousy, betrayal, or a deeper conspiracy? As Detective John Carter digs into the shadows of New York's elite, shocking revelations uncover a truth more chilling than anyone imagined. Manhattan, the city that never sleeps, where glittering lights conceal the darkest corners of the human soul. On a rainy October night in 2024, at the Pinnacle, an exclusive residence for CEOs, movie stars, and high-ranking officials, a horrific murder shattered the calm of New York's elite. The victim, Michael Langston, a 42-year-old financier and founder of Langston Capital, was found dead in his penthouse with a fatal stab wound to the heart. The lavish apartment, once a symbol of wealth and success, was now drenched in blood and scattered clues. The NYPD swiftly sealed off the crime scene. Michael's body lay sprawled on the hardwood floor of his living room next to a shattered glass of bourbon. No signs of a break-in, no murder weapon in sight, and the building's security footage showed Michael entering the elevator alone at 10:47 p.m. At first glance, the case seemed like an unsolvable mystery. But as detectives began to peel back the layers, they discovered that Michael Langston's glamorous life hid secrets of jealousy, betrayal, and a deadly plot. Michael wasn't just a successful financier. He was a husband and father. He was married to Vanessa Langston, 38, a former supermodel who had stepped away from the spotlight. Together, they had a 12-year-old daughter, Emily Langston. From the outside, their family was the picture of wealth and happiness. But whispers among Manhattan's elite hinted at cracks in their marriage for months. Some said Vanessa had grown tired of her controlling husband. Others whispered that Michael, despite his demanding career, had uncovered something about his wife, a secret explosive enough to ignite his rage. The murder wasn't just shocking for its brutality, but for its setting. The Pinnacle was a fortress for the city's elite, where privacy and security were paramount. A killing here wasn't just a crime. It was a stain on the building's pristine reputation. Public and media pressure forced the NYPD to act fast. They assembled a task force led by Detective John Carter, a seasoned investigator known for cracking complex cases. Michael's penthouse, the crime scene, was a labyrinth of luxury, floor-to-ceiling glass walls with views of the Hudson, custom Italian furniture and artwork by Basquiat and Warhol worth millions. But amid the opulence, Michael's blood had dried on the hardwood floor, a stark reminder of life's fragility. The investigation began under the harsh glow of forensic lights in Michael Langston's penthouse at the Pinnacle. His body lay face up in the living room, eyes wide open, as if he'd seen something terrifying in his final moments. A single, deep stab wound pierced his chest, directly through the heart. Dr. Henry Foster, the NYPD's lead medical examiner, concluded that the murder weapon was a thin-bladed knife, likely a paring knife or kitchen knife, about 6 inches long. The wound suggested a strong, deliberate strike, hinting at either a professional hit or an act of uncontrolled rage. Curiously, there was no blood splatter beyond the body. Dr. Foster suspected Michael was attacked while immobilized, possibly knocked unconscious or drugged. The cream leather sofa, glass coffee table, and walnut bookshelf stood untouched, with no signs of a struggle. A shattered bourbon glass lay near the body, its amber liquid mingling with blood on the hardwood floor. Detective John Carter ordered the bourbon sample collected for analysis, suspecting it might contain poison or a sedative. Lab results later revealed a small dose of benzodiazepine in the glass, not enough to kill, but sufficient to render Michael defenseless for a few minutes. Another detail caught Carter's attention. Michael's right hand clutched a small piece of paper, but blood had blurred the ink, making it unreadable. The forensics team attempted to recover the text using infrared imaging, but only a few fragmented letters emerged, not enough to form a clear clue. The Pinnacle's state-of-the-art security system, touted as impenetrable, became a glaring blind spot. The hallway camera leading to the penthouse was disabled from 10:50 p.m. to 11:20 p.m., coinciding with the estimated time of death. The building management claimed it was a routine technical glitch, but Carter didn't buy the coincidence. He ordered an investigation into the building server system and discovered the outage wasn't a hardware failure, but a deliberate command sent from an external device. Someone with technical expertise had intentionally disabled the cameras. This led Carter to suspect the killer didn't act alone, possibly aided by a hacker or an insider within the Pinnacle staff. To understand the motive, Carter turned to Michael Langston's life. As the founder of Langston Capital, a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund with investments from New York to Silicon Valley, Michael was a titan in finance. But beneath the success, his company faced a crisis. Internal financial reports, obtained after a search warrant on his office, revealed Langston Capital had borrowed hundreds of millions from shady offshore lenders. Industry insiders whispered that Michael had made enemies, most notably Richard Hensley, CEO of Hensley Ventures. Hensley had publicly threatened Michael after losing a high-stakes real estate bidding war in Hudson Yards. Carter sent a team to tail Hensley, only to find he was at a charity gala in Washington, D.C. on the night of the murder, with dozens of witnesses confirming his presence. Preparing and narrating this chilling story took us a lot of time, so if you're gripped by the mystery, subscribe to Family Crime Files. It means a lot to us. Drop a comment with your guess. Who do you think killed Michael Langston? And if this case has you on edge, hit that like button and share it with a friend to see if they can crack the case. A more compelling lead emerged from Michael's personal life, particularly his marriage to Vanessa Langston. Once a supermodel who dazzled on runways and magazine covers, Vanessa had retreated from the spotlight after marrying Michael. Those close to the family revealed their marriage wasn't as perfect as it seemed. Michael, with his domineering personality, controlled every aspect of Vanessa's life, from her wardrobe to her social circle. A Langston Capital employee, who worked closely with Michael, confided that he had recently become obsessed with the idea that Vanessa was cheating. He'd checked her phone and found suspicious messages, though no one knew their exact contents. When questioned about the night of the murder, Vanessa claimed she was home all evening, caring for their daughter, Emily. She didn't cry or show grief, only stating that her husband's death was a shock. Her eerie calm raised Carter's suspicions, but he lacked concrete evidence to accuse her. Another figure drew Carter's attention: Ethan Hayes, Michael's 30-year-old personal assistant. Smart, discreet, and seemingly loyal, Ethan knew every detail of Michael's schedule, deals, and secrets. In an initial interview, Ethan was cooperative, sharing Michael's habits and insisting he had no known enemies recently. But he let slip a curious detail. Michael had been receiving late-night calls from an unknown number, growing visibly tense after each one. Carter ordered a check on Michael's phone, found in his jacket pocket at the scene. The data revealed a text sent at 10:30 p.m. on the night of the murder. "I know the truth. Meet me tonight." The message came from an unlisted prepaid phone, untraceable when the police checked. Another breakthrough came from Michael's bank records. 3 days before the murder, a $70,000 transfer was made from his personal account to an anonymous offshore account. The transaction, executed from Michael's laptop, had no noted purpose. Carter suspected it could be linked to blackmail or a larger scheme. He ordered a trace on the receiving account, but the funds had been funneled through multiple foreign banks, vanishing into a financial maze in the Cayman Islands. The deeper Carter dug, the more he realized this wasn't just about jealousy or betrayal. Michael Langston seemed to have stumbled into a hidden network, possibly tied to illegal dealings through Langston Capital. A leaked internal report revealed Michael had met with a group of shadowy investors, not part of the mainstream financial world. Carter suspected they could be linked to a criminal syndicate, and Michael's death might be the price of refusing to cooperate or threatening to expose their secrets. 3 weeks after their murder at the Pinnacle, Detective John Carter's task force was caught in a whirlwind of fragmented clues and dead ends. But an unexpected discovery, overlooked until now, turned the investigation upside down, revealing the killer's identity and exposing a sinister plot behind Michael Langston's death. It all began on a dreary morning at NYPD headquarters when Alex Monroe, a sharp young detective, decided to re-examine surveillance footage from areas near the Pinnacle. With remarkable patience, Monroe spent hours analyzing frame after frame from traffic and storefront cameras around the building. In a grainy video from a convenience store 2 blocks away, he spotted something peculiar. A white delivery van parked near the Pinnacle's service entrance at 11:15 p.m. on the night of the murder. The van, marked with the logo of Fresh Taste Delivery, had no business being at an upscale residence at that hour, especially with no recorded delivery schedule. Monroe flagged the find and reported it to Carter. Though initially skeptical, Carter ordered the van tracked down. The team contacted Fresh Taste Delivery and learned the vehicle had been rented that night by an individual using the alias Tom Harris. The rental agreement provided a single clue: a faint fingerprint, likely left by accident. Carter sent the print to the forensics lab for analysis, hoping it would match a record in the NYPD database. The results came back the next morning, stunning the team. The fingerprint belonged to Ethan Hayes, Michael Langston's personal assistant. Ethan, who had appeared loyal and cooperative throughout the investigation, was now the prime suspect. Carter, with the instincts of a seasoned detective, knew this was no mistake. Ethan Hayes wasn't just involved. He could be the key to unraveling the entire truth. Carter ordered Ethan's immediate arrest. He was brought to an interrogation room at NYPD headquarters, his tailored gray suit a stark contrast to the cold, sterile setting. Ethan sat across from Carter, hands clasped tightly on the table as if to hide a tremble. Carter began by placing the rental agreement in front of him, the fingerprint circled in red. "Ethan Hayes, how do you explain your fingerprint on the contract for a van parked near the Pinnacle the night Michael Langston was murdered?" Ethan furrowed his brow, feigning surprise. "This must be a mistake," he said. "I don't know anything about that van. Someone could have stolen my identity." But Carter wasn't convinced. He presented more evidence. The convenience store footage showed a man in a dark jacket and cap stepping out of the van and vanishing into the shadows. The man's build and gait bore striking similarities to Ethan, though his face was obscured. Carter pressed further, revealing that the team had found a payment receipt from Ethan's secondary bank account used to rent the van. Under the weight of the evidence, Ethan's composure began to crack. He admitted to renting the van but insisted he was only following orders to transport sensitive documents for Michael. "I had no idea about the murder," he said, his voice wavering. "I was just doing what I was told. My boss had secrets and I was just the errand boy." When Carter asked who gave the orders, Ethan shook his head, refusing to answer, and demanded a lawyer. Preparing and narrating this chilling story took us a lot of time, so if you're gripped by the mystery, subscribe to Family Crime Files. It means a lot to us. Drop a comment. Do you think Ethan is telling the truth, or is he hiding something bigger? Hit that like button if you're shocked by this twist, and share this video with a friend to see if they can guess what's next. Sensing Ethan was concealing a larger truth, Carter ordered a deep dive into his background. Ethan Hayes, born to a working-class family in rural Ohio, had earned a scholarship to a prestigious New York university through sheer intelligence and grit. After graduating, he worked for small firms before Michael Langston hired him as a personal assistant 5 years ago. Ethan quickly became indispensable, entrusted with Michael's schedule, documents, and even sensitive deals. But a shocking discovery upended the investigation. Ethan had a secret relationship with Vanessa Langston, Michael's wife. The clue came from a hidden cloud account Ethan used for personal data. After securing a digital search warrant, the team recovered hundreds of encrypted messages between Ethan and Vanessa, exchanged over a secure app for over a year. The messages revealed not only an affair, but also a plan to escape Michael Langston's control. A message from Vanessa sent 2 months before the murder read, "He's getting more suspicious. We need to act before it's too late." Ethan replied, "I've got everything ready. Just need the right moment." Another message, sent days before the murder, showed Ethan's meticulous planning. "The cameras will be off at 10:50 p.m. Don't leave any traces." This revelation clarified much of the mystery. Ethan Hayes wasn't just a loyal assistant. He was a co-conspirator in a carefully orchestrated murder plot with Vanessa Langston. Even for Carter, who had solved countless complex cases, the sophistication of this scheme sent a chill down his spine. Ethan Hayes, with his intimate knowledge of the Pinnacle's security system and Michael Langston's habits, was the perfect person to execute a murder without leaving clear traces. With the killer's identity confirmed, Detective John Carter began piecing together the puzzle. The delivery van wasn't just used to transport documents. It was a means to dispose of evidence, including the murder weapon, a kitchen knife that the team still hadn't found. Carter suspected Ethan had driven the van to an incinerator facility on the outskirts of New York City to destroy the knife, explaining its absence from the crime scene. The disabled cameras in the Pinnacle's hallway were also explained. Ethan, with access to a hacking tool purchased on the dark web, had sent a command from a mobile device to shut them down. This accounted for the technical glitch the building management couldn't explain. The bourbon glass laced with benzodiazepine, as Carter had theorized, was the tool used to incapacitate Michael Langston, allowing Ethan to strike without resistance. But one question gnawed at Carter. What was the true motive behind Ethan and Vanessa Langston's actions? Jealousy and love might drive someone to murder, but Carter sensed a deeper secret, a missing piece of the puzzle. The $70,000 transfer Michael made before his death, the blood-soaked note in his hand, and the mysterious late-night calls all hinted at a conspiracy beyond a simple love triangle. Carter ordered a deeper analysis of the encrypted messages between Ethan and Vanessa. Simultaneously, he prepared for another interrogation with Vanessa Langston. She was summoned to NYPD headquarters on a crisp November morning in 2024. Carter began by placing a stack of printed messages recovered from Ethan's cloud account in front of her. One message, sent 2 weeks before the murder, read, "We only have one shot at this. If we fail, we lose everything." Carter leaned in. "What do these messages mean, and what was your role in your husband's death?" Vanessa sat silently, her eyes fixed on the floor as if weighing her options. After a tense pause, she spoke. "I didn't kill Michael," she said. "If he's dead, it's because of his own secrets." Pressed by Carter, Vanessa began to reveal a partial truth. She admitted to an affair with Ethan Hayes, claiming it was a source of comfort in a suffocating marriage with Michael. But she denied any role in the murder, pinning the blame on Ethan. "If Ethan did something, it was his decision. I knew nothing." Carter didn't buy Vanessa's claim of innocence. He shifted tactics, bluffing that Ethan had confessed to their entire plan, including the use of the sedative and the camera sabotage. Though this was a partial lie Ethan hadn't fully cracked, it rattled Vanessa. She stood abruptly. "He's lying!" she shouted. "I never told him to kill Michael!" Her outburst lasted only seconds before she sat back down, regained her composure, and demanded a lawyer. Meanwhile, Ethan Hayes sat in a cold holding cell, feeling the weight of his situation. After 3 days of relentless interrogation, with mounting evidence, his fingerprint on the rental agreement, the convenience store footage, and the messages with Vanessa, Ethan finally broke. In a late-night session that stretched past midnight, he slumped over the table and began to confess. He admitted to killing Michael Langston, but insisted it wasn't his original intent. According to Ethan, the plan stemmed from Vanessa, who convinced him that Michael was a threat to them both. "She said Michael knew about us," Ethan said, his voice shaking. "He threatened to ruin her, ruin me, and take everything we had. She said there was a way out." The plan had been in motion for months. Vanessa, knowing Michael's habit of drinking bourbon before bed, spiked a bottle in their kitchen with benzodiazepine, ensuring a dose strong enough to incapacitate him, but not lethal. Ethan, familiar with the Pinnacle's security from assisting Michael, used a dark web hacking tool to disable the hallway cameras. He slipped into the penthouse through a service entrance, using a kitchen knife from Michael's own home to deliver the fatal stab to the heart. After the murder, Ethan took the knife and a USB drive containing passwords to Michael's secret offshore accounts, leaving the penthouse in the van. He drove to an incinerator facility on the outskirts of New York City, where the knife was completely destroyed. The documents and USB were handed off to a location Vanessa specified, with the intent to seize the funds Michael had hidden offshore. But Ethan insisted he wasn't driven solely by love. Vanessa had promised him a share of Michael's fortune, estimated at tens of millions, as a reward for his loyalty. Ethan, who came from a struggling family in Ohio, admitted that ambition had clouded his judgment. "I thought this was my chance to change my life," he said. "I didn't realize it would go this far." Ethan's confession clarified much of the case, but Carter still felt a crucial piece was missing: Vanessa's true motive. In a follow-up interrogation, armed with Ethan's confession and the recovered messages, Carter confronted Vanessa again. Under pressure, she finally cracked, revealing a truth far beyond Carter's expectations. Vanessa disclosed that Michael wasn't just a controlling husband. He was entangled in illegal activities. Through Langston Capital, he had been laundering money for a powerful New York crime syndicate, operating under the guise of real estate deals. When Vanessa stumbled across an undeleted email on Michael's laptop, she uncovered the truth. Michael threatened her to stay silent, warning that if she spoke out, not only she, but also their daughter, Emily, would pay the price. Ethan, privy to Michael's shady dealings as his assistant, became Vanessa's ally. The two decided the only way to escape Michael's control was to kill him and seize his hidden offshore funds. But their plan went further. Vanessa revealed that she and Ethan intended to use Michael's documents to blackmail the crime syndicate, hoping to extort hundreds of millions. Ethan's confession and Vanessa's revelation allowed Carter to piece together the full picture. The $70,000 transfer Michael made before his death was an attempt to hire a private investigator to tail Vanessa, whom he suspected of infidelity. But the investigator was a contact of Ethan's, and the money ended up in the killer's hands. The blood-soaked note in Michael's hand, though not fully legible, was confirmed to be part of a note he wrote to confront Vanessa about her affair with Ethan. Preparing and narrating this chilling story took us a lot of time, so if you're gripped by the mystery, subscribe to Family Crime Files. It means a lot to us. Drop a comment. What do you think of Vanessa's betrayal? Hit that like button if this twist shocked you, and share this video to see if your friends can believe the depths of this conspiracy. On May 15, 2025, the New York State Supreme Court opened a trial that gripped the nation. Ethan Hayes and Vanessa Langston, the two defendants behind Michael Langston's murder, faced grave charges: premeditated murder, conspiracy to commit fraud, and evidence tampering. The courtroom was packed with reporters, Manhattan's elite who once knew the Langston family, and onlookers drawn to the scandal. But among the sea of eyes fixed on the defendants, none were more pained than those of Emily Langston, the 12-year-old daughter of the victim, now forced to witness the collapse of her family. The trial lasted 3 days. In his final testimony, Ethan Hayes reiterated that he had been manipulated by Vanessa Langston, claiming he only wanted to protect her and had no initial intent to kill. His pleas fell flat, especially when the prosecution highlighted his meticulous planning and cold execution of the crime. Vanessa, in contrast, maintained an unsettling calm. When asked if she regretted her husband's death, she replied curtly, "I did what I had to do to protect myself." After 2 hours of deliberation, the judge delivered the verdict. Ethan Hayes was sentenced to life in prison without parole for premeditated murder, deemed especially heinous due to its calculated nature. Vanessa Langston received life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, as she was not the direct killer, but the mastermind and co-conspirator. As the verdict was read, Ethan slumped in his chair, hands covering his face, while Vanessa merely nodded, as if she had anticipated this outcome. Emily Langston sat in the back row, clutching the hand of a relative, her eyes hollow as she stared at her mother. The death of her father and her mother's betrayal left a scar that would never heal. After the trial, Emily was sent to live with her grandmother in Connecticut, starting a new life far from Manhattan's glitzy spotlight. Thanks for watching this chilling tale on Family Crime Files. Don't miss more stories like this. Hit that subscribe button now. Drop a comment below. What do you think of Emily's heartbreaking story? Hit that like button if this case shocked you, and share it with a friend to spark a discussion. Want more mysteries? Check out our playlist for other jaw-dropping cases you haven't seen yet.